Hello and welcome to Simple Cryptocurrency News presented by CryptoFast. And in this news video we'll be talking about Learning Coin, which is created by the two largest international organizations called World Bank and IMF. Then we'll be looking at the Ontology blockchain upgrade. And finally we'll be covering news from the NEO ecosystem, including Switcheo's Atomic Swap functionality, which is coming very soon. Then we'll be looking at a new game on the NEO blockchain called CryptoFast, which is about cars. And finally, we'll be talking about some negative news which happened to the Thor project and why it closed its doors on its investors. Stay tuned right after the intro. Okay, before we get into the news, I just want to remind you that in the description below the video, you will find the times as well as the links and the topics that I'll be discussing in the video. So you can simply click on the time and it'll take you directly to the specific topic you may be interested in watching. Now, before we get into the news, let's take a look at CoinMarketCap and see what the sentiment is like in the last 24 hours. So as we can see, Bitcoin is trading just above $5,000, close to 5,100 to be exact. And it's up 0.23% in the last 24 hours. Now, Ethereum is trading at 163.96, up 0.15%. NEO is in 16th position and is trading at $10.89, down only 1.92%. And Ontology is trading at $1.32, up 0.26%. And interestingly enough, there's a bigger gap in terms of ranking between NEO and Ontology. Now, Ontology has dropped to the 19th position. It was actually the 18th, just below Ethereum Classic. And at some point, a couple of weeks ago, it was even above NEO. So it's interesting to see that it's dropped a lot of positions. Now, what could be the reason? We don't know. It could be just simply the market that caused that. Now let's take a look at the biggest gainers. So the biggest gainers are Maximind Coin and Engine Coin. Interestingly enough, Engine Coin are focused on blockchain gaming, and blockchain gaming is something I'm keen to cover on this channel more and more because I do like games. I used to be a gamer. I kind of stopped playing games recently, but with the blockchain gaming, I think this is something futuristic. I think games on the blockchain are going to take over eventually, when transactions are going to be faster, because at the moment to have a game fully on the blockchain is not really feasible. Obviously with the graphics and all the resources that it uses is not going to be fast, right? It's going to be slow, and being slow is not something that players want. Players don't actually want lagging. Players want to have consistency. They want to have they want to be able to move as quickly as possible when they make the movements within the game, be it a car racing game, be it an RPG game, or any type of action game like shooters, for example. So let's take a look at the biggest losers, ABBC Coin and True Chain. So minus 10.5%, 10.05%. So yeah, that's pretty much it from the market. We'll have to see. Actually, traders were saying that the support line is at $4,600, but surprisingly enough, it's been holding well above $5,000. So where is the real support line? Maybe there just wasn't enough selling pressure. Anything is possible, right? It may go down further, or it may just hold above 5K. If it holds above 5K, that's great, because you know there's only one way, and that's up. Again, it could crash, but you know, it gives us that kind of confidence that maybe the market will be trading sideways and it will be more stable. But that's that about the market sentiment. Let's take a look at the news about World Bank and IMF and Learning Coin and what it's all about. So as we can see here on CoinGate.com, World Bank and IMF together launches Learning Coin cryptocurrency, and what's the deal with it? So basically, World Bank and IMF stands for International Monetary Fund, they've reportedly rolled out a private blockchain and a quasi-cryptocurrency called Learning Coin. And interestingly enough, this cryptocurrency is more used to help fill the gap and form strong knowledge based on the technology among the staff of both organizations. So it's pretty much like a wiki page, you could think of it, right? So maybe in your organization, if you work in a large company, you may have like an internal wiki page where you've got the internal information about the different departments in your company and things like that. So you'll also have some learning material there, educational material. And in this case, the World Bank and the IMF are using Learning Coin to be able to learn about cryptocurrencies and educate themselves, right? So this is quite good, because obviously if the banks are getting involved, and we have seen other people talk about this as well, banks getting involved in cryptocurrency, banks buying cryptocurrency, it kind of goes against them, right? Because they don't like cryptocurrencies, but yet they are buying them. And why do we think they're buying them? So maybe it's because they're trying to sell to the institutional investors, and also to the private pensions, right? Because the private pensions are not able to buy cryptocurrencies legally until the ETF, the exchange traded fund, is approved in the United States. So when that happens, then obviously they'll be able to buy them legally. And who's going to sell them? Well, the banks are going to try and sell them. So let's see what happens. Let's see what the move is going to be. But yeah, basically what the IMF did is they posted on Twitter a simple question, more like a poll. So the question was, how do you think you will be paying for lunch in 5 years' time? So 56% of the people voted that cryptocurrency is going to be the way. And interestingly enough, there have been 37,660 votes, so quite a lot. So yeah, and mobile phone is the second with 27%. And interestingly enough, you know that you can use your mobile phone to scan a QR code and maybe use cryptocurrencies to pay for your shopping, for example, or for your lunch. So yeah, kind of works sideways, right? So you can have the mobile phone and use cryptocurrency, or you could just use cryptocurrency, which is also on the mobile phone. But maybe you could also get like a debit card, like a physical card where you can store your crypto, and you can simply scan it just like you scan your debit card, or insert it into a POS device and make your shopping that way. So that's also possible. So yeah, quite interesting that these guys are trying to learn more about it. Obviously, we think cryptocurrencies are here to stay. And we know they're here to stay because we're seeing all these different large companies, large organizations learning about cryptocurrency. I mean, what would be the point to educate yourself on something which you think is going to die out, right? We just have to be realistic about it. It's here to stay, just like the blockchain technology. Now, I'm not saying that all the cryptocurrencies are here to stay, but a lot of them are here to stay, especially Bitcoin, in my opinion, because it is king. It is the first. How is it really going to die out, right? There may be others that are better, but we don't think they're going to die out. So yeah, that's that about the IMF and World Bank. So let's keep an eye out and see what's going to happen with this learning coin. Again, this is not a tradable asset. This is something internal on a private blockchain. We don't know if they're going to make it tradable initially, eventually. Anything is possible. I don't know. Let's see. But yeah, let me know what you think about learning coin in the comment section below. And let's move on and talk about Ontology. So Ontology had a mainnet update to version 1.6, and probably the most important part of this update is the transaction fees rebate for dApp developers as part of the dApp incentive scheme, which they've been talking about for quite some time. Just like many blockchain projects, Ontology are basically trying to attract developers to develop dApps on their blockchain, on their side chains, be it private side chains, be it security token side chains, anything like that, right? So they just want dApps to be developed on there so that, you know, obviously they can have a use case. If they have a use case, then obviously the price is going to appreciate, and this is what people want to see. This is what Ontology want as well. They want the use case of their actual blockchain, right? Why else would they have developed it? And for those of you that are new to my channel, and a lot of you aren't, but just in case you are new to my channel, Ontology did not hold an ICO, which is an initial coin offering. So this is something important to keep in mind. They have received their funding from Onchain, which is the parent organization on top of NEO and Ontology. So they're the ones calling the shots, right? So yeah, the other update that they've done is the support ledger consistency verifications. They added a tool for collecting information about node versions in P2P modules, supports automatically configuring the FD limit of Ontology nodes. I'm not entirely sure what that means. Configuration of the number of HTTP REST. So these are all technical informations here. Fixes some virtual machine related bugs. And also they're saying that nodes should upgrade, because if they don't upgrade before block 3 million, then they're going to need to sync the whole blockchain. So if you are a node, make sure you upgrade to version 1.6. I'm sure that there have been communication with all the node owners, and of course you can check them out on Discord to get more help on that. So that's that about Ontology. We haven't heard many other news about them apart from this and the airdrops, of course, that they've had. So yeah, let's move on and talk about the NEO ecosystem. So Switcheo, this is actually a very important news article, and I'm really happy with this because I do support Switcheo. And Switcheo announces Q2 of 2019 development roadmap with April atomic swaps. So as we can see on NEO News today, we're gonna get the atomic swap, and interestingly enough, it's gonna happen in April, right? This month, we're finally gonna get atomic swaps. And what does this mean? Well, it means that cross-chain can be used. And with cross-chain, we mean that we can use the trading pairs across the two different blockchains to trade. So for example, they're gonna start it off with Switcheo and Ethereum, as we can see here, cross-chain trading, which is gonna be in a private beta state on April 16th. And if the beta state goes smoothly, then Switcheo aims to list the first cross-chain offering, which is going to be Switcheo Ethereum market pairing. So this means that the NEO blockchain will be tradable with the Ethereum blockchain for the first time. I haven't heard of any other exchange do something like that so far. So Switcheo are going to be the first if this goes through okay, and if beta testing works out fine. I'm personally going to try and do some testing, and I'll do a demo on this channel if the date suits me, right? Because it all depends when it's going to happen. Normally they do these private beta tests early in the morning, normally when I'm at work, so it's not always possible for me to do it, but I'm gonna try and see if I can fit it into my schedule depending on when they do it, or maybe try and do a demo when I get home basically, and just see how it all works out and share it with you people. So yes, the other thing is EOS blockchain. So they're gonna be adding EOS as well. We're gonna have 3 blockchains. We're gonna have NEO, Ethereum, and EOS on Switcheo hybrid exchange. I'm not going to say Switcheo decentralized exchange, even though they do use this name, because they're not 100% decentralized. There is no 100% decentralized exchange out there. They're all hybrid, right? Because hybrid in the fact that you can log in with your wallet directly. You can use your Ethereum wallet or your NEO wallet to log in, be it via your hardware wallet, your ledger, or with your private key or encrypted key by copying and pasting it and logging in, as well as by creating an account just like you would on a centralized exchange. Switcheo chain. So this is the other important update that they've announced. Now they have actually talked about this some time ago, and I've mentioned it in my news video. They're basically trying to migrate off NEO, so they're going to be on their own blockchain, the Switcheo blockchain. And obviously the Switcheo token is no longer going to be the Switcheo token. It's going to change to the Switcheo coin, because it's going to be the primary coin on the Switcheo blockchain. And we don't know if there are going to be other tokens on the Switcheo blockchain. I'm guessing not. I'm guessing they're going to be using only the Switcheo coin. And interestingly enough, they're adjusting their token model as well. So the consensus mechanism is going to be delegated proof of stake, which means that you're going to be able to stake your Switcheo coins to get some sort of income. Could it be the transaction fees? Quite possibly, but we still have to find out more information on that in the upcoming months. Now, they are actually planning to do it in the second quarter of 2019. So that's in this quarter. We are in Q2 at the moment. Let's see what else we've got. So yes, additional blockchain, right? So they are planning to add other blockchains as well. Switcheo plans to add another unnamed blockchain also in Q2 of 2019. So we're seeing a lot of updates in Q2. This is really, really great from Switcheo. They're really stepping up their game. Could it be because of Nash? Could it be that they're worried that Nash are going to really, you know, they've created that hype and they're going to take over all their customers? Could this be the real reason why Switcheo are really stepping up their game? You know, they're just pushing up a lot of updates. It's just absolutely amazing. So it's not going to be Qtum. They did say it here because of lack of activity, but they haven't named it, so we don't know what it's going to be. My guess is the Tron blockchain or the Ontology blockchain. Now I think it may be the Tron blockchain, simply because Jack Yu has actually mentioned it in a previous podcast that I've done with him. So let's see if it really is going to be the Tron blockchain, because they're going to be adding a lot of tokens, which are the TRC10 tokens. And Switcheo want to add a blockchain which has a lot of tokens, right, on that blockchain, so that they can be tradable. So that's going to be good, because we're going to see EOS, Ethereum, and NEO in a cross-chain trading functionality, right? When the atomic swap functionality is introduced, this means that you're going to be able to trade between all these different blockchains. And maybe Tron, maybe Ontology. I'd really love for Ontology to be there, because as you know, I'm a fan of Ontology. Quality of life. So other improvements Switcheo plans to integrate into its existing product in Q2 include distribution of gas for traders, NEO held in the Switcheo contract, and thus to Switcheo trading for small token balances. Full ERC20 support for Switcheo's over-the-counter platform. So that's also going to be good. As you know, they do have the over-the-counter trading, right? That is a functionality on the Switcheo hybrid exchange. any trades that are larger than $5,000, they need to go through a third-party trusted escrow. And interestingly enough, Tom Chili's, Tom Chili is actually the main person, but there are multiple admins from various NEO blockchain projects which are part of the escrows, right, in this Telegram group. And actually they're called Switcheo OTC Market now. So they've actually changed their name. I'm going to be posting it in the description below. Do check them out. They are trusted, 100% trusted. Many people have used them in the past. Nobody has reported any sort of scams. I personally have used them too. So they are 100% trusted. Don't worry about that. Yeah, they're the ones handling trades that are larger than $5,000. Other possibilities in Q2 is the fiat gateway. Now, I have actually spoken to Jack Yu in the last video cast that I've done with him. There is a partner, their third-party payment provider, which they're supposed to have integrated since pretty much December 2018 or January 2019, because that's when Switcheo completed their development. But unfortunately, they're facing some legal and engineering difficulties, you know, that third-party payment provider. So because of that, they're not able to list the fiat gateway that we're hoping to see. And also O3 are facing exactly the same problem. O3 is the mobile and desktop wallet where you can store your NEO assets as well as the Ontology assets. So yeah, unfortunately, this is a bit of a challenge for many of us because we're really looking forward to that. Now, that being said, it doesn't mean the fees aren't quite high when you deposit, because when I checked that out, the fees were quite high. I think a bit higher than Coinbase, but let's see how it is. Let's see how it is. Always check out other payment providers before you make a purchase. Again, this is not financial advice, but personally, I tend to check different payment providers and see which is more convenient. From my personal point of view, if the difference is very small between Coinbase and maybe Switcheo's new payment provider when they're going to list it, then I may go for Switcheo's payment provider, simply because it saves you a lot of time having to transfer like Ethereum or Bitcoin from Coinbase to another exchange like Binance or KuCoin, then changing to NEO, then moving to Switcheo, then getting an NEP5 token. So it's all pretty messy, right? There's a lot of sending and receiving that you need to go through. You need to be careful. It takes time. Things like that, right? So if you want to move fast, this is another way. So that's going to be quite interesting to see how it's going to impact the alts, right? The NEP5 tokens on the NEO blockchain. So yes, that's that about Switcheo. Very good news, very good news. And let's look at CryptoFast. Okay, so I've spoken about CryptoFast, which is the blockchain game coming to NEO. Now, it isn't 100% on the blockchain, as I have mentioned earlier. It's just not possible right now. It's not feasible considering the speed of the blockchain. But this game is going to have some in-game assets which are going to be tradable, and they're going to be it's going to be a non-fungible token, of course, all of these in-game assets, including cars. And the plan is to list this game in May. That's when we're going to see this game. In May, we're going to be able to play it. The graphics are really good. It kind of reminds me of Gran Turismo, if any of you have played Gran Turismo, the classic game on PlayStation. So the blockchain interaction, so this is the section that I was telling you about here. The economic model of CryptoFast involves the use of multiple tokens, so not only this ECT token, and which will be used to consume and create a deflationary token model. It acts as the game currency and will also be used for voting on new game features or assets. Early acquisition of the ECT token will be possible through NEO and gas redemption, though new ways to acquire the token will be announced. EasyCheers will announce its allocation plan in a future announcement. Now let's have a look here. Oh yeah, and CryptoFast in-game assets are stored on the NEO blockchain as non-fungible tokens and will represent rare items such as cars, replacement parts, and also tuning parameters. These assets will be viewable in the NEO NFT asset wallet that the team will release alongside the game. Now, EasyCheers knows that they will use the proposed NEP11 non-fungible token standard, and it will use additional functionality to allow multiple token types to be packaged in a single trade. This is because although each car in the game is represented by a non-fungible token, the separate car parts and cosmetics are all different non-fungible tokens. For a player to trade the whole car at once, the ability to package the NFTs is necessary. Otherwise, the car would need to be disassembled and traded piecemeal. Wow, this is quite interesting. So they've thought of everything to try to get it on the blockchain as much as possible. And I'm actually really curious to see if Phantasma Chain are going to be integrating this game, at least the in-game items, right? Maybe not the game itself, but the in-game items, and if they're going to be tradable on Phantasma Chain, because we know that Phantasma Chain, once they move they migrate to their own blockchain, are going to be supporting in the Phantasma app all these different non-fungible tokens. So I'm really excited for that, because we know that the NEO blockchain is one that will be supported from day one, as well as EOS and Ethereum as well. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I just want to have a quick look, because I really enjoyed this demo of CryptoFast as well as the music. So basically at NEO Game DevCon on the 9th of March 2019, they have done a trailer of this game and how it actually looks. So I just want to show you how it actually looks again. Unfortunately, there was some problem with the audio, so it didn't actually record properly when I showed it, but it should work now. So let me turn it on. Okay, let's start it. Actually, 1 second, let me go back here. It's at 1:14. Okay. Watch this, watch this. Absolutely amazing graphics, right? Cutting edge. Just like the recent games that we can see on the market. Really nice, really nice. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm really looking forward to testing out this game, to be honest. The graphics are cutting edge, you know, just up to standard, basically up to today's standards. So yeah, pretty cool. Let's see. And finally, I want to talk about the Thor token. Now, Thor token announces that it is shutting down, so pretty bad news for the Thor investors, right? We just have to say, this is how it is with cryptocurrency. This is how it is. Unfortunately, there are some projects which are dying out simply because of this bear market. It's just unsustainable for them to continue paying their developers and to continue the development of their project and to hit the milestones. And this is a clear proof right here with Thor. Many people have been hyped about Thor. The Thor token was actually quite expensive because the supply was only 50 million. So yeah, I think a lot of people unfortunately got burned during the ICO phase. So yeah, basically they're saying here that on April 9th, Thor token announced that it's closing its doors after several days of speculation and after Thor locked his Telegram to comments and allegedly offered the former employee the company and its 50 million tokens for only $10,000. So yeah, the Thor website was updated to show only a post that has since switched back and forth in attribution between CTO Matt Moravec and CEO David Chin, currently attributed to Chin. The post states that we are incredibly proud of the groundbreaking work the Thor team accomplished, delivering useful and accessible products for 1099 gig economy companies. Unfortunately, we did not achieve the commercial success we're looking for. The post goes on to cite the regulatory challenges. So basically, this is the reason why the company couldn't achieve their goals. And they're also claiming that Thor had been working behind the scenes to raise further capital and to face the lack of sales or find the company a new home where our technology could benefit from more resources. So they laid off 50% of its staff in order to correct the cash flow. 2 months earlier, and the company stated that it has signed 3 agreements that represent over 8,500 contractors, that it had a pipeline of over $1.8 million of annual recurring revenue that will be closing in sales deals over the next year. Despite the claims, Thor has been unable to sustain its operations, and ultimately it has become clear that the only course of action for Thor is to shutter its doors. Okay, that was the closing announcement. So unfortunately, you know, investors have been affected. I know that some people from the Crypto Table Talk group have invested in Thor as well. Basically, this is a VIP group that I'm part of, where there are like 30 people there, you know, that we basically talk about cryptocurrency news and stuff on the NEO ecosystem. We're all fans of the NEO ecosystem and Ontology ecosystem too there. So yeah, we just talk about that, and I know that some people there got wrecked, of course, other investors too. It is what it is. It just shows you that with cryptocurrencies, you can never be sure, right? It's very volatile, it's very risky, especially with these low market cap projects. You got to remember that there is a risk, right? Lack of funding, things like that. This is why the top 20 market cap coins are normally the most safest, as they say, right? Again, it's still high risk, but they are the safest. Not financial advice. I'm just saying that logically speaking, they are the safest because They have the highest market cap for a reason. People believe in them. People see the project progressing. They have a lot of capital as well because they have been in the game for some time, and they've managed to survive the bear market simply because they did really, really well. In early 2017, they managed to sell a lot of their assets to sustain the project, or maybe they have a working product and they've managed to make enough revenue or are still earning revenue at the moment to sustain the project. So it just shows you that these things do happen, right? So you just have to be really careful. You can never be 100% sure with any project nowadays, but it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So that being said, that's all I wanted to cover for today. I had a lot of news to cover, right? A lot of talking was done, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and again, if you're new to my channel, please do subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about these news. See you in my next video. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.